'95, that all season, the Yankees are playing Seattle in the playoffs, and this friend of mine, Ray Negron, who started work with the Yankees, said that Mr. Steinbrenner want to meet with you when the season's over. I said, okay, cool. And then my suspension was lifted, I think, in October. So I was actually rooting for the Yankee pitchers to do bad, all but David Cone, because he was a personal friend of mine. So it would help my chances on joining the Yankees. Because at that time, the Mets had said they want to cut ties and go a different way, which was okay, but I was kind of sad about that because I wanted to right my ship with the fans and the organization. So when the season was over, the Yankees got knocked out of the playoffs. I meet with Mr. Steinbrenner at a restaurant in Tampa. And I remember Ray saying, you got to dress nice, you got to have a suit on, you got to wear a tie. So I get a tie, I got a suit. We go in, Steinbrenner's there, he has a sweatsuit on. So we talk.
George Steinbrenner had a sweatsuit on.
Had a sweatsuit on. So we're sitting there eating, upscale restaurant as well. We eat, talk for about 3 hours. Baseball never come up. He never talks about baseball. He just talks about what have you been doing with yourself for this year, what have you been doing with your kids, what have you been doing to better yourself. That's all he wanted to know, what I've been doing. So on the ride home, I was telling Ray, I don't think he just wanted to meet. I don't think he wants to do anything. Signed me as a Yankee. So the next day he called and we worked out the deal. Start off that year 0-3 with the Yankees. And I remember I'm walking out of the stadium with my first wife and here's Mr. Steinbrenner walking towards us. And so I say to her, here's George, I'll introduce you to him. So she said, okay, cool. She was kind of excited. As they got close, I said, hey, boss, how you doing? I'd like for you to meet my wife. And he said, when you going to win the Elfin game? And just kept walking. So that was, I said, that was George. But later on, he apologized and signed roses and stuff like that. I mean, that's the type of guy he was. I mean, great guy. Now,
great guy.
Yeah, he was a great guy. I mean, he gave me an opportunity because that's just who he was. And the thing about George, he was a fan. He wanted to win. But at the end of the day, he was in your corner. I mean, he gave me a job with the Yankees after that. He was very supportive of my dad when he got sick.
Are you still a Mets fan?
I'm a Met at heart. I'm a New York fan. I like all New York teams, but the Mets are definitely my number one team, though, in New York. I see a root for them, get to many games I can. And I get asked that question a lot, and like a lot of times when I do signings, if I'm in the Bronx, you say, yeah, I'm a Yankee. But it just don't sound right. Even though I appreciate all what the Yankees done for me and Mr. Steinbrenner, but I always feel Met at heart.
What is it about this Mr. Steinbrenner? All the respect and props he gets, and, Seinfeld, he earned millions kind of giving him a little
he's an
kick.
Incredible man. And I'm very fortunate to spend the time I spent with him. And once I retired, that's when I really got to know him. I worked for the Yankees for 6 years down in Tampa. I've been around him every day. And just watching the stuff he does for the community and people he don't even know. A lot of people that has jobs down in Tampa, he met them like at IHOP or different places and he gives them jobs. I remember
he really was that guy.
He was that guy, and he didn't want nobody to know. The stuff he would do to help people, he said, hey, I don't want anybody to know. And he always just tell me, he goes, Doc, if you do something for someone and more than 2 or 3 people knows, then it's not coming from your heart. And that stuck with me. And one of the things that always stuck with me was when my dad was sick before he passed away, Mr. Steinbrenner was coming from New York. He had a meeting set up in Tampa at the minor league complex. When he got to the complex, the gentleman, Ray Negron, was there, and he asked Ray, how's Doc's dad? And Ray said, he's not doing too well. He said, how's Doc? He said, well, he's at the hospital now. Mr. Steinbrenner didn't even go into the meeting. He told Ray to go tell those guys I'll be there in a little bit. He came to the hospital, saw me and my dad, and spent about an hour there. And that thing, stuff like that, just, you don't forget. And he didn't have to do that, but that's just the guy he was.
So that blows over that whole, when are you going to win me a...
Oh, when you game? Oh, definitely, definitely, yes, definitely.